I'm Clayton Parks, a local mechanical contractor in Kelowna and a CHBA member. So our first topic is discussing the use of an HRV system versus using a bathroom fan. In this house, we have used a dedicated HRV system which replaces all bathroom fans with an HRV. This will have ducting that's dedicated to each bathroom. This pipe runs centrally through the entire house and connects downstairs towards the mechanical room. Using this type of system eliminates the amount of penetrations through the vapor barrier, through the roof, and through the ceiling and walls. A lot of considerations taken in before holes are punctured through the vapor barrier, the exterior walls. Our team constantly, and every team that's doing an HVAC installation, needs to consider exactly what this backing look like. This way, everything is sealed. There's solid backing surfaces for the vapor barrier to be sealed too, and then a small area just for ductwork to make it through. In this house, we got a high efficient furnace paired with a heat pump going outside, which is known as a dual fuel system. It is our most efficient way of heating and cooling a house. This is an inverter driven heat pump, meaning that it has a variable capacity, only providing as much heating and cooling as required. This would be the epitome of what is efficient and the best product you'd be putting in your house. These products also come as a side discharge, which eliminates a lot of the footprint that a conventional system would have. Following the IDP, this is a collective project or collective process in order to get to this exact piece of equipment, and this is something that satisfied both our energy advisor as well as satisfy the homeowners. It includes having an elevated surface that prevents the heat pump from actually touching the surface. If it's touching the surface in the time that it does defrost cycles, it does produce condensation. If it was touching this here, it would create an ice dam and create some sort of hazard that would be outside. Our team has gone through and put not only elevated blocks on it, but rubber isolation blocks to prevent the noise transfer from being around the building. At the same time, we have a pad that is also graded this direction to allow any water that could be on here to grade properly off into an area where there's rock. So the biggest and most integral component to us doing these installations is by sizing this house correctly. Every single one of these houses gets a heat loss and heat gain calculation, which determines the exact amount of BTUs that's required for the home. This is then added to a calculator, goes into a duct calculation, and then is put onto paper. That way, this is the easiest guide for our installation team to follow, and something that stays with the home as soon as it's turned over. Another large integral component to everybody being successful is engaging with your builder and engaging with the IDP process first. This determines exactly what type of equipment should be in the house, something that meets our energy audit with the energy advisors, and a way that we could accommodate everything with the owners of the house. In this case, we've used a zoning system for this house. That way we have a thermostat on the upstairs and the main floor of the house controlling the heating and cooling. Zone dampers like the one above my head are what control the airflow that goes through this ductwork. So in the event that the thermostat makes a call, this damper will open up while closing the other ones. This is a perfectly great way to isolate the exact needs of whoever's on each floor.
Hi, I'm Sebastian Motora, and I'm a CHBA member, and here today to talk to you about 4 considerations that you might want to take into account now that homes are getting tighter and our mechanical lungs are being taken more and more into consideration. What are some of the items that you might have to look after in order to meet your airtightness requirements? So you just had your mechanical system installed. Everything's been run nice and tight, neat, but you need to get your eyes on all the penetrations that have been made. These penetrations are important and vital to make sure that you hit your tightness requirements. Whether that's through use of tapes, sealants, or spray foam, you should be aware of all of the penetrations that are made and the locations where they're at. So our second consideration when it comes to our mechanical systems is to make sure we've got a strategy in place. Now, typically with builds, we see penetrations scattered across an entire face of a building. These cause many problems and for many different reasons, one of which being it just makes it more complicated. More penetrations, more complications, different wall assemblies. Sometimes they're coming through your foundation wall, sometimes they're coming through normal 2x6 framing. All of these carry different ways of air sealing, so why not simplify it? Bring them all together, get a bit more strategy planned in place before, assemble your team through an IDP process, and really plan it out to make for a really nice, beautiful, clean face. Your siders will also be happier. If you look here, we've got them all stacked nicely, nice and tight, pre-planned inside and outside, proper blocking. This is what we like to see, and it creates for a much easier build as far as getting to that airtightness requirement. Our third consideration is to make sure that we've got dedicated spaces for those penetrations. Try to combine them all into one space makes it a lot easier and a lot more streamlined to make sure that those areas are properly sealed off. It's actually a collaborative effort even in most cases where we're teaming up and making sure that each trade has what they need to successfully create that airtight penetration. So for example, over here, we've teamed up. We've brought the necessary trades to make sure that there's proper back framing and that our mechanical team has everything they need to make for a pre-planned and successful airtight penetration. And for our fourth consideration, looking after air sealing around those penetrations. So that means using industry-approved gaskets, caulks, tapes, and other methods such as air sealing to make sure that we're looking after all these penetrations and creating that airtightness layer. So in this case here, plumbing run through a garage space. We need to make sure that this area is properly sealed up. You can use spray foam, you can use a vapor barrier tape, anything that's approved, but make sure that we're isolating these areas and making sure that there's no air leakage coming through. That'll help you get to those airtightness requirements.